straw and barley for the whole crop silage, but we might mix in sometimes some wheat here and there. This year our wheat wasn't really our choice, but there was nothing we could do about it. We bought the field after it had been planted, and all of the rest of the fun things that you need to do with crop. Basically what I'm looking at there is any field I buy, we're going to have to live it there. That wheat field is going to impact our total environmental score. It's going to reduce our income bonus for next year. But for the most part, we can control for that. I'm a little bit worried our grass field lime levels are now at very dire point. So I'm probably going to have to take some lime out there immediately after the next cut, because we're going to trash our environmental score on that field. But as we get more fields, the averaging kicks into play. So you've got 3 fields. One field is a third, assuming they're all the same size. One field is a third of your total environmental score percentage. Now the difference there is once you when you're up to 10 fields, obviously if one field is bad, it's 10% of your total overall score. Again, assuming all the fields are the same size. I believe it's actually based on field size rather than number of fields. So in the grand scheme of things, this field is not as significant on the environmental score as, say, that soybean field, which is kind of on the large side. And there's a couple of other large fields on this map that will make a more noticeable impact on the environmental score, total environmental score. We'll get this field done. We'll take a look at where we are with the ES. As we pass through this field, things are potentially getting, well, as we go through this field, the ES average is going to be adjusted as we go. So let's do that. With a little strand along the end. The header trailer's up here in the corner, so it kind of makes sense to mess around with that, because obviously we're done with this field and the only other field we have to do right now is on the other side of the street. So I'm not going to be able to take the harvester with the header unless I park some vehicles in the road. I'm not going to do that, so we'll turn that off. I can be stop. Do that. Do that. It should beam into place. Yay. I do like when that happens. Then we got that from the Platinum DLC in Farm Sim 19. The Lexian harvesters, or the class harvesters, all had self-centering header things. Come on. Oh, that wasn't. Oh, it's further into the. There we go. Okay, extend the pipe. We'll do the drive-by on the John Deere. Because I think the easiest way to get across the road is straight across from the farm. I might be able to put the header on the harvester in the yard and then just drive straight across the road and cut into the field that way. That would be good if we can do it. Okay. Let's see how that works out. And we're gonna have to bring something. I'll probably end up with a Massey on the baler to deal with the straw in this field. So much demand for space, because I will probably unload the straw here, so it's easier to just lift it in the back of the shredder and just throw it straight in the barn. That's a good plan, but I need somewhere to put the whole crop silage, and putting it right there as well also seems to be in general a fairly wise move, because it makes it convenient for where we're working, or where we need it. Anyway, let's get the wheat started. So yeah, there was the choice of the 18-foot header, but in the end I decided for an extra 10,000, we'll go 25 foot, because it means I can cut the field faster. Okay, we are producing straw, so let's cut in. And as part of field prep for this field this coming year, we will be expanding into that grass area that used to have a load of trees on it, just to increase our crop capabilities. Okay, that's number one. As far as I'm really concerned, I only actually have to do one headland here with the wheat. The point is to pull the harvestable crop away from the grass. Because if I come in here with a mower, the grass is going to mess with the whole crop windrow if I don't create a structural break between the two effectively crops. So that's where we're going with that idea. It's the same problem I had when I was doing using a forage harvester on our corn in Oakfield Farm. When I ran along the edge of the field, the forage harvester filled with grass and couldn't unload because there was maize in the forage wagon, and so it clogged up the system, so I had to stop it and turn it off. Okay, you take care, 44 Ranger, and I'll catch you whenever. So it just clogged up the forage harvester, so I ended up running the forage harvester a couple of corn rows into the field and losing some of the crop on the edge. So by doing this way, I'm harvesting some wheat, which we'll throw in the grain mill, obviously. We're going to get some straw, and I'm going to have to bale up the straw before we come back with the mower. And then once we're good with all of that, I can get set to with the whole crop silage and make some cow food. Anyway, how are we doing? It's 9 o'clock, so we're actually doing okay. We're going at this for about half hour. We're already, what, halfway through? We're better than halfway through our harvest for the day. Now, since we're able to, since it's harvest time, we're going to have the potential of harvest contracts available, that we now have a harvester that we can use to do them. So at least one day this month, one day in July, we will be doing contracts, and I'll probably look at doing harvest contracts rather than baling contracts. I think it's when it comes to baling, silage is going to make us money, and hay is going to feed the cows. I don't need to do any more hay contracts at all this year. Not with 700,000 litres in the cow robot ready to go. But doing some grain contracts, obviously doing cereal contracts is going to give us stuff that a small amount of stuff that we can put into the grain mill, and thus get some extra money that way. I don't know. Should I just stick to... I think, thinking about this, I'll do 2 headlands here, and then we'll go bale up the straw, haul that over to our yard, and we'll come back with the mower and finish this off as whole crop. Because it's something different. I'd like to see and know that it works. And as I said, we now have a gap between the crop and the grass, so I could do it right away now. But I would like some wheat just because it's more flour production, and the flour production mill does we're done. Does produce at it produces all of the flour every month. So if you load the flour mill with sorghum, wheat, barley and oats and turn them all on, all 4 productions will run at 100% capacity for the entire month. Well, unless you run out of stuff to process. The thing I was talking about yesterday, we found out about the dairy, is the dairy has a single production channel. So if you put milk into the dairy and produce cheese and butter, it will produce 50% of its maximum butter output per month, and 50% the other one. Did I say butter or cheese? Well, 50% cheese, 50% butter. So what we were getting was about 3 pallets of butter and 1 pallet of cheese. By turning off the cheese production, that should give me 6 pallets of butter per month. I didn't look at the relative milk usage, I just looked at the value of the product. And butter, 2,000 or 3,000 litres of butter is worth a little bit more than 1,000 litres of the other stuff, cheese. So it just makes more sense to produce the butter on a financial level. And there. And yeah, 6 pallets of butter doesn't overload our little truck, so we are okay with that level of production. Okay. Now I do think I'm going to get rid of the truck eventually. And when that happens, we'll start using possibly a flatbed truck, dual purpose, moving bales quickly around the map, and moving pallets in bulk around the map. It will allow us to reduce the number of trips I have to take when delivering stuff. Obviously, while we're producing flour, I've got to take all the flour down to the grain mill, down to the bakery, and I can only do that 7,000 litres at a time with the little truck. I can do that a lot more. I can move a lot more volume if I use a flatbed like our Roland or a truck. And because our little van is only capable of auto-loading one product, I have to make multiple trips per product, which is one of the reasons why I decided to stop producing cheese as well, because I have to make 2 trips to deliver it all. By only producing butter, that's 1 trip. And the trip is from this side of the map to the bottom corner, so it's a long drive. And we can cut down on that. That's a good thing, at least for me. It allows me more time to do other stuff. So yeah, July we are going to have a lot of work this month, even if I don't even though we've only got 2 fields to harvest. Once these 2 fields are cleared, I'm going to have a lot of work to do in this one, ploughing the top there, and then we're going to have to do the usual prep work. So we'll throw some slurry out. I don't think I'm going to grow beans in this field. I may grow canola. Obviously I'm going to rotate, so we'll have something different in this field. And the same with the oat field. It's not a bad deal doing, soybeans. But if I want to use up the slurry, then canola really needs the nitrogen. So we can dump a ton of slurry out here. A ton of slurry in the oat field. We do have at least 1 cereal field north of the farm, barley, which again probably not going to be ready to harvest till about September, because it was a spring crop. But doing that, it'll get done. That I might do as soybeans, just to give the field a rest from nitrogen requirements. Plus we'll be planting it a little bit late. Well, the barley we're going to be cutting later, we'll be harvesting. We'll have less time to prepare the field, so just saying, hey, you know what, we'll plant it with soybeans, because they're not you can't plant them till spring. These 2 fields are going to be ready to plant now, so planting winter canola may be the best plan, because it allows us to get these fields completely turned around and getting on for being productive next year. Oh, I completely misjudged that turn. And yeah, as you know, I like to get my crops, or I like to get my fields turned around as quickly as I can, so that harvesting them will be as early as possible the following year. Okay, that's good. I honestly don't know which field is the most likely to be ready next. See, the soybeans are accessed from our original yard, so I'm probably, at least for now, going to park this over here, out of the way. And I'm not going to take the header off. Now, if it turns out that the soybeans are not ready immediately, I don't know if I want to park. I probably want to park the middle way. So, let's carefully maneuver this around here. There they are. That will do nicely. We'll drop that there. Stick in drive, turn the engine off so it's not beeping at us. And to jump out, I am stuck on a roof pillar. That's good. I'm now stuck in the Land Rover. Okay, so yeah, so looking at the fields, we own. This is our grass field. This is the field we just did. This is the field we just did. We've got these two to do, and this one. I think this one might be ready first. Let's take... No, those two are going to be ready first. So it's likely I'm going to have to move the harvester over to this yard, do these two fields, then come back to this yard to do 51, and then take it back to this yard because this is where it's going to live. Looks like someone's already harvested. 57, 38's been done. Work is happening across the map, but yeah, lots of fields to harvest. Now I can stop the farmers harvesting by activating lazy farmers and turning on that, and that will then stop the farmers from harvesting their own fields, so I have to do it for them. Yeah, the downside of that is it's going to give me a lot of work to do. But it does mean I don't have to look at the contracts now. They will still all be ready. Yeah, they'll still be available next. Whenever. Yeah, tomorrow. Whenever I get round to doing things. So, we will run that there. Drop off the wheat. So as I said, we're going to pull this over to the flour mill, but I don't have to do it right this minute. The flour mill's going to process all that grain in the matter of a couple of days, game months. So, okay. Don't need the John Deere for now, but again, I'm going to leave it connected up to that wagon. I'm probably going to get out into a post again. Nope. Okay, narrow ties on the doits so we can mow a crop without destroying it. The other option I could have had was to buy myself a front mower specifically for this job. But at the moment, I'm not going to do that right away. I'm going to hope that this mower will cut the wheat that we have. Of course, I could save the game beforehand so I don't make a critical mistake, but I think... Oh, hang on. Yes. First things first, I need the Massey Ferguson on the baler to make those straw bales. don't really want the straw bales in the way while we're running around with the mower. There it is. And again, because I'm doing straw first, not a lot of that's conditioned grass in the back of that. For efficiency's sake, what I want to do is grab the straw first and probably bale up the other field as well before I load the baler up with whole crop. It just keeps the crops kind of, I'm not wasting anything. The words mean words. So yes, I'm not wasting any of the not quite enough for a full bale type of thing. Although that said, it's not too bad here. We'll make, I don't know, maybe we do bale this entire field and just be happy with it. It's nearly full. So since we have the extractor, we always make the biggest bales, because that's less movement of bales. Beep, and I think that just put it on automatic, so I'm liking this baler much more than I was using the case square baler yesterday, and the pickup width was a little bit of a challenge. It may be the straw swap